from the International School at Tel Aviv University, you're listening to Rihla, the podcast of the MA in Middle Eastern Studies program. Rihla is the Arabic word for travelogue. The Rihla Podcast brings you stories of our students' journeys as they live and study in Tel Aviv and travel throughout Israel and the wider Middle East.
Welcome to an episode of Rihla Podcast. Welcome to an episode with belly dance music and stories from Damascus. My name is Valerie Strassmann and I'm going to talk with Lucy Oleinik, graduate student in the Mamas program of Tel Aviv University. How are you?
Hey, Valerie. Fine. Thank you. Thanks for having me here.
You're welcome. Tell me, Lucy, what are you listening to right now?
This is a very famous song, and the name of the song is Ghanili, which means sing to me. This is the song which many ballet dancers all over the world take as their inspiration.
So you know belly dance music because you're also belly dancing. You told me that you started around 6 years ago in Moscow. What was your motivation? Why did you want to learn belly dance?
Basically, it was like a love from the first sight. I remember seeing a competition on YouTube and I was simply shocked that such competitions in ballet dance actually exist. And I just got taken aback by the beauty and the elegance of this dance, and I promised myself that I would learn to dance and to belly dance in a professional way. So that was my goal from the beginning.
Can you also belly dance here in Israel?
Yeah, definitely. There's a world-famous belly dancer, Orit Maftzil. She's Israeli, and she's amazing. She's been inspired by major Egyptian belly dancers, and she's the only Israeli belly dancer who's ever performed on the grand scene of Cairo. And there are various schools and people here, women here are into belly dance. That's especially women from the Mizrahi Jews, let's say, who are of Iraqi and Moroccan origin. That's how they dance on the weddings. That's what their nature is all about. So, yeah, it's very popular in Israel, actually.
Was it the belly dance that brought you here to Israel, or why did you decide to study here at Tel Aviv University?
No, definitely not belly dance. I say that my search of... I'm still in search of bringing my passion about the Middle East into reality and somehow applying it to a job or to something more realistic than my dreams and my interests, my hobbies. And I've been infatuated with this whole region and with the languages, first and foremost, the dance, the music, culture in general. So that's what brought me here. I was willing to explore the culture more, to get familiar with the history of the region.
You said passion for the Middle East. So you started to belly dance, but you also already know a lot of Arabic. You know Arabic very well. How did you start to learn and study Arabic?
Oh, it all began so spontaneously. After 3 months of belly dancing, I just realized I couldn't wait any longer, and I wanted to understand the words of the songs. This is very important to me. And at the same time, I was getting more interested and was trying to explore the main concepts of Islam and getting familiar with the religion. I also have a lot of friends, a lot of Muslim friends and acquaintances. So Arabic was a number one priority for me when I was thinking about where to study, at which university to study in Moscow. And as it happens with me all the time, I'm very spontaneous in my decisions, but then I stick to them. I tend to stick to my interests for the entire life, for a long time at least. So this is how Arabic absolutely conquered my heart, this language. I have a very weird relationship with it, a love-hate relationship with it, but still I just feel like learning it all the time.
So the Fusha, the written or standard Arabic, you still continue to study here at the university, but your spoken Arabic or the colloquial Arabic you picked up in Damascus because you spent there 1 month with your teacher. How did it feel like living in Damascus? It's a place that for now seems to be like inaccessible.
It's very disappointing, of course, when I see the images from Syria and the news. It's almost impossible to accept this reality after the time I've spent there, and it was very challenging in terms of the language, but it gave me a lot of motivation to develop my skills and my speaking skills. And then we traveled in the country. We saw lots of different places and spent a week in Aleppo, and the Christian neighborhood where we basically lived and studied. And the people there are very hospitable and open, so friendly, and those are the best memories of Syria, I guess.
So you live with the family of your teacher?
Yeah, I spent this month with my teacher's mother and her sister, and we got to know each other very well. It was a unique situation where I could communicate both in Arabic and in Russian because they could always help me out with the language. And we became very good friends with this teacher of mine. We're still... we always keep in touch, and those are the best memories, the best moments of Syria. Seriously.
So her family still lives in Damascus?
No, already not. No, they moved out. That happened 5 months ago, and now they're temporarily based in Moscow, but they're still unsure whether or not to go back because they have property in Syria, and some say that the situation is improving in Damascus, but they're still hesitant.
Can you talk about like a regular day that you spend in Damascus?
It would start with a massive breakfast with lots of variations of sambusa.
What is
which
sambusa?
Is a small pie with different fillings, maybe with meat or cheese and spinach. And then we would go to school together with my teacher because she used to be a teacher's assistant there, and we had classes until we had like the first class was Fusha, was an hour and a half, and then you had 2 hours of colloquial Arabic, which was fantastic. And then we would go somewhere in the streets of Damascus and go to the market, and it was such a temptation that no one could withstand because to buy everything, literally everything was so cheap. And then we would go to one of the mosques, either to the Umayyad Mosque, just to spend time calmly, peacefully there. And you could do lots of research on Islam. You could talk to imams. Everyone is so approachable there. Used to be, at least. And then in the evenings, there would be either a party with our class in a restaurant or in a cafe, or would just sit at home and smoke shisha, nargila. Yeah. So that's it. It's a very relaxed and kind of Arab style kind of days, but very memorable.
Was it easy to communicate with people or to get in touch with people?
Very easy, very easy. People in Syria, well, Arabs in general, from my personal experience, are in awe when they hear foreigners speak their language and understand such words as even basic words that are commonly used, like commonly used expressions like Alhamdulillah or Inshallah, or the basic stuff that is somehow connected to their religion. If they have background knowledge about religion, then Arabs will appreciate you very much. And in Syria, that was the case too.
You have a very strong cultural connection to the Middle East. You're belly dancing, you love Muslim fashion, you have the language knowledge of Arabic and also Hebrew. And now you're here and you study the Middle East from an academical point of view. Do you have any advice for someone who wants to also study the Middle East because interested into the region? What would you tell such a person?
I'd like to note that nowadays political events often overshadow the cultural aspect of this region, and we don't get to hear positive news about the Middle East. It's mostly tragic, and it's mostly about war and conflict and political imbalance that you have here. So it's really important, like, in order to understand this region, in order to get your own idea of this region, it's important to explore it by yourself. If you're willing to become a part of it or become a real professional, then academic knowledge is indispensable, but your personal experience, your traveling, your volunteering experience is nonetheless very valuable.
Thanks for listening to the Rihla Podcast. We have more episodes coming out soon, so stay tuned. For more information on the MA in Middle Eastern Studies program and how to apply, visit mames-israel.org. That's mames-israel.org.